Jay over there looking like he's giving
What's
birth.
wrong with you? Oh.
Bro, you better take yourself about this office.
Go.
Dog! Now it's locked. It's all right. This is ridiculous.
I'm coming.
This is definitely making it on the podcast. I've recorded all of this.
Oh, good.
Well, hello and welcome to the Unaltered Podcast. My name is Spence, and I am here today with a very special guest, Miss AK herself.
Hello.
I need a soundboard. Yes, AK. You might know her from the Unaltered Tour. She's one of our communicators. She also be running the front of house in the lobby as well. How many years have you been on tour? This is your
middle of my second year, so like a year and a half.
So this is your second year.
Yeah.
Let's get the audience acquainted with you.
Yes.
All right. So what are some things you think these lovely people should know about you?
Okay. First, I'm from New Jersey.
Well, that's over. Okay. Thanks for... Didn't know that. I'm just kidding. We love you, New Jersey.
Yes.
Just
yes.
not as much as the other states. New Jersey's nice. I'm just kidding.
New Jersey's... Okay, if you go to the good parts of New Jersey. But
Right.
there are some parts that we just don't like to address or acknowledge as part of our state.
I just think New Jersey's one of those states that's like... It's easy to kind of pick on because it's a tough state.
Yeah.
Like, it's a legitimate...
Yeah.
Like, you gotta... Like, I have a great New Jersey story. I ever tell you that about preaching in New Jersey? And the guy... So I preached in New Jersey, and the guy that brought us in rolled up on me, and he was like, after I was done preaching, it was like super serious. Was like, looked angry.
We
I was
always
like,
look angry.
I was like, oh dang, and I got a pretty angry face, so I was like, okay, it is what it is. But I was like, oh man, did I like say something that I'm not aware of? Like, and he's like, yo, bro, he's like, you gotta earn it in New Jersey. I'm like, okay. He's like, and you earned it, bro. And he like bro hugged me. I was like, okay, man, thank God.
Had no idea what he was going to start saying.
That was the first time I spoke in New Jersey. But then I was really confident going back to New Jersey speaking because I was like, I've already earned it.
I'm here.
And I heard you have to here. So
Yeah.
That's so fun. Okay, so you're from Jersey.
From Jersey.
Okay, what else?
I guess a good thing to know is I traveled before I came onto tour.
That's true.
Yeah, so I traveled with an organization called the World Race, and I did 5 and 9. So I went to 5 countries in 9 months, and I think that's really where my heart for traveling and missions started. Was on the World Race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and is that the first time that you ever were traveling outside the country?
No, so I started doing mission trips when I was, I'd say like, I went to Brooklyn, like New York, like sophomore year in high school, but that wasn't abroad. But then just every year when my youth group did a mission trip, I would go on it. So then I went to Bolivia for like 2 weeks as a senior in high school. It was like Thanksgiving around senior year. And then I went to Costa Rica. So yeah, once I started traveling, I just couldn't stop traveling.
And you got bit by the bug.
Exactly.
You're like, okay.
It's like getting tattoos.
Yeah,
You
that's what
get
I've heard.
one and you have to get more. You start traveling, you just have to keep going.
And how many tattoos do you have? You about the life.
I think 6.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7
Okay.
tattoos. I think I have 7.
Okay. The problem with tattoos, and I guess it's not a problem, but the reason why I have not got any, I just never found a shirt that I want to wear for the rest of my life.
I see.
You know what I mean? Like, all your tattoos are super dope, though.
But I didn't put more than like 24 hours of thought in them.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a recommendation, but
No.
it's
No.
worked for you.
Exactly.
So
I don't hate any of them.
the bass player in my band has a tattoo on his shin, and you've seen him, like Jared's all
Yes,
tatted up,
yes.
right? And he has one on his shin, and it's a duck, and it just says "Sawsome," and I'm like, that's
Like duck sauceum.
you know, like when you say it's like something, it's awesome, but
Yeah.
you just make it one word, "Sawsome," "Sawsome," bro.
Sauceum. So
And
I've
it's a
never
sauce-
said that before.
Well, neither have I until I saw the Sawsome duck, and I'm like, that's hilarious. And then he has a zombie squirrel, and the squirrel's eating his own tail.
Are there meanings behind these? Or you just
Probably
get them
not.
to
No,
get 'em?
it's a Sawsome duck and a zombie squirrel.
That's what I'm
if that
saying.
means anything, I couldn't even.
Or like there's a crazy radical story behind it. And it's like,
I'm
yeah,
sure
this
some
one
of them
time.
do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of them mean something, but not. I doubt that. I think he's the kind of dude that's like similar to like you. Like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Let me get that.
Let me get that.
Sawsome.
Exactly.
It's awesome, bro.
I'm gonna get that tattooed.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Sawsome. You come back with a Sawsome tattoo. That would. You'd be my hero. Yeah. So okay. So Jersey, traveling. What else should they know about you? That's pretty exhaustive for like a surface level kind of.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
I love coffee, as I said before.
Oh yeah. Shout out to King State. Roastery is what we're drinking right now. King State has nothing to do with this podcast, although I wish
No.
they would because it's...
If they sponsored us, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's like our favorite, probably your and I favorite coffee roaster. Well, one of for sure. That's a bold
I'd say
claim.
my favorite.
Yeah, I was
would
gonna say
say
that
my
too, but I didn't want to speak for you. Yeah, it's a coffee roastery out of Tampa, Florida, which is where I'm from. So you know that's right. You know to get it right in Tampa.
It's true.
But yeah, it's amazing. So coffee, and you know good coffee, so that's saying a lot for you to.
I think I have a good understanding of coffee. I just know it tastes good to me.
Cool. Was there anything else you want to share?
I guess I like kickboxing.
That's true.
Yeah, which your wife introduced me to.
Yeah.
And so I love kickboxing.
And I've heard, and I've seen some videos, but I've heard you're actually really good at it.
I'm getting better.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like I can hold my own in like a sparring match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my knowledge of kickboxing, I would say, is very small.
Sure. And how long have you been doing it for?
Just over a year.
Okay. So could you beat up Jay?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Too.
And he's learning to kickbox too. I feel like the whole Unaltered
Really?
Tour team is like learning to kickbox.
Jay, you kickboxing? Jay's kickboxing.
He throws some ones
I
and
feel
twos.
like I need to kickbox then. Is that positive peer pressure or I'm just insecure? Which one is it?
No, I think it's positive.
Okay,
peer
I'll
pressure.
take that one.
Yeah.
Everybody's kickboxing but me?
Allie doesn't kickbox too much.
So me and Allie cannot kickbox together.
You guys can sit there
I
and
don't
drink
know.
coffee and watch
She
us.
looked like she was crushing it. She went to the gym the other day.
That's
with
right. You watched that video.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So she does get into it, but I'd say there's just a small number of us.
Yeah, that are for real about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So I think kickboxing is very interesting.
Okay.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that's something I wanted to talk to you about just in general. And so I figure since we're having a conversation right now, we might as well talk about it now. My wife has been kickboxing for 2 years almost, a little.
I thought it was like 3
Is it?
because she trained for 2 with Jamie.
Yikes. How do you know that I don't?
Ooh. You
My
could
bad.
be right though. I mean, you are married to her.
Yeah, but I very well could be wrong as well. Anyway, okay, so she's been kickboxing for a while.
Yes.
And she loves it, and she's very good at
She's
it.
amazing at
She
it.
won't say she is because she trains with people who are professionals and she's learning. But yeah, she's very good at it. I think even for you doing it for a year, you're very talented at it.
Thank you.
But there's a lot of things that kickboxing has taught her outside that are applicable outside of the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so there's actual life tangible lessons that she's come home and she's talked about. I'm like, dang man, you seen that there? Like these biblical principles, stuff about life and disciplines. So what are some things that kickboxing has taught you about your faith?
That's a good question. And I go to the gym often with your wife.
You're there like all the time.
All
You
the
go there
time.
more than my wife.
I do.
Yeah.
Do. And the times I get to go with her are my favorite. And I would agree that she views kickboxing in such a unique lens because I think everything she sees a gospel laced into it,
Yeah.
or she just sees a Bible laced into it. And so I say a lot of what life lessons that I've learned from kickboxing come from her, just because she's
Sure.
intelligent beyond anything. But I think the one thing that I've learned, I think with it, is because you get hit when you kickbox, you're taking that chance.
That
when
is part of the sport.
That's part of the
Getting
sport
punched
is
in
to
the
hit
face.
and to get hit.
Yeah.
But I think the first time I ever sparred, and what people who don't know kickboxing lingo, sparring is just like you're not giving 100%, but you are fighting another person. And so the whole point is just to learn technique and to try new things, to throw new kicks and stuff like that. And so the first time I ever sparred with Ken's, I got super frustrated because I couldn't block my face. And so she just kept wailing me, and she hit me pretty hard. I mean, your wife's strong.
Yeah.
And I just instantly started crying afterwards. Because one, I was mad that I couldn't get my body to do what I knew it had to do.
Yeah.
Like I know my hand just has to block my face and I won't get hit and I'll be fine. But my mind just wasn't working like that. So got super discouraged. I think I sparred her like twice. Every time just cried afterwards. I was like, well, clearly I can't do this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Not for me, I'm out.
I'm done. This
Right.
is the worst. So then continued to kickbox, but never was like just a fearful to step into sparring anyone like that. So that was like the beginning of this summer. And so I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 months ago was the summertime. And so through that time, I've just been like training on my own, or Malachi on the team trains me, and really taking a lot of classes at the gym. So I think what I'm trying to say is then I slipped back into sparring, and I could get used to getting hit in the face and being able to not let it affect me, to know like, okay, yeah, that I got hit and it sucked, but I know what to throw next, or like how to readjust. And so to say that of like in life or in our walk with Christ, when something happens to kind of throw you off a little bit, kickboxing has taught me just to stand firm on like what I know is true. I'm like, okay, yeah, it hurt, but it's not going to rattle me or it's not going to end me.
Yeah.
And to be able to just take a second to breathe, like address that it hurt, address that it affected you, but then step back into the ring and keep going. Because, okay, well, if I just give up, that's where I lose. But if I keep trying, then there's a win there. You know, I have the ability to grow. I have the ability to get better because I've experienced what it feels like to get hit in the face. So I'm gonna try everything not to let that happen. So I think that's the biggest thing. I don't know if like that made sense, but
no, sure.
Getting hit has just taught me things.
Yeah, getting back up. Where do you think the confidence to enter the fight again comes from?
I think it's the why behind it. And so like for kickboxing, like I entered back into sparring, or I kept training because I wanted to get better. I wanted to be able to hold my own against someone who knew more than me. You know what I mean? And so I think it's the same thing, or the same concept of like, yeah, on the road when life gets hard and you're like you're doing 3 shows in a row and you're super tired, or you know what I mean? Like when things just happen, when life happens, because what's going to happen, like why are you doing it? So I'm on tour because of Jesus, because I want Jesus to be proclaimed to kids, and I want them to know like whatever they're walking through, one, they're not alone, and that there is an answer, and like there are things to help them in that. And so I think like the why is like, yeah, like life sucks right now. I haven't slept in X amount of days, you know what I mean? Like have stayed in some really weird places, but like it's just for Jesus. And like I know that's maybe like a cliche answer, but I think when you have the understanding of like, well, one, this time isn't ours. Like we're literally on earth for God. Like we are his vessels. Everything we do is for his glory. And so it doesn't matter like how hard it gets, because like the hope that we have is so solid of like, okay, yeah, life sucks right now, but like I know God's got me. And I know one day this is going to be turned to good. I might not see it now, but I have the understanding of, and I think it's even like looking back at like my past of like, okay, yeah, life sucked for a season, but I'm here now and I'm fine. And like that was used for good. And so I know that in this same circumstance, in 5 years, I can look back and be like, okay, no, like it's all for God. It's going to be fine.
Yeah. Were you always like that? Did you always have that perspective? Like, hey man, it's
no.
Okay.
No, I would say like after middle school or after high school, after the toxic relationship I went through and all of that, and understanding like a year after that really ended, being able to see how God used that to bring me closer to him was like, oh, like I get it. Like you are really turning all of this for good, and you are really using the broken pieces and the bad decisions I've made in my life. And so I think when I understood it there, then I could pinpoint other areas of my life where he did the same exact thing to then give me the perspective when I walk through stuff now of like, okay, but he brought me through it then, and he's faithful. He's going to bring it through. He's going to bring me through it now.
Sure. Yeah. So I would like to talk about your segment a little bit. So in the show, you do a segment that is currently, in the current show, it is our love segment. And so we talk about a handful of different attributes of the unaltered life. And the unaltered life is as defined. It's obedience to God's original design leads to the human flourishing. It was Eden. And then we said, no, we're good. We're trying to figure it out on our own selves.
It all went downhill.
Botched it. And we've been living in it ever since.
Yeah, trying to get back to it.
Exactly. And Jesus gave us literally the door through to redeem and reconcile us back to the Father. Yeah. And it's through these commands, which are really just directions, man. Like I think we get the labels throw people off, like the do's and don'ts of Christianity aren't even do's and don'ts, my guy. You know what I mean? It's legitimately like, hey man, that road
will hurt you.
Will hurt you.
Yeah.
You like not getting hurt, right? Tight. Go
down this one. Yeah, it's so true.
But the kicker is you can't do all these things that are gonna hurt you. And we're like, nah, forget that. I want them things. I want them hurtful things. You know what I mean? Like that's just the reality of it, right? So one of those attributes is love, because it's a crazy word these days. We're redefining
so many meanings around it, or definitions.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing, because it's like, yo, I can love my wife, I can love tacos, and I'm using the same word. You know what I mean?
It's so true.
And so I would love to talk about that segment. I'd love to talk about first what that segment means to you.
Yeah. Oh, I love the love segment. Yeah.
You know, that's right.
I love that I think I'm always in awe that I get the ability and the privilege to do the love segment, because I never in 1,000 years would have thought, one, that I speak, that I get the opportunity to speak, or that I get the opportunity to share my story. And that's basically what I do in the love segment is I walk the kids or the students through like a small interactive game of just showing them what happens when you cross physical boundaries. And I get to speak from that because that's a lot of what my testimony was. And so I think the love segment to me is I just don't want students to walk down the same road I did and trying to find their identity in guys or trying to find their identity in parties and what other people think about them. And so it's like, well, if I can just share my brokenness on stage and be like, that didn't work. So don't try it. Like so I have a 17-year-old little sister. And so if I always just like imagine, okay, Sarah's out in this crowd and she's listening. What do I want to tell her? Well, I just don't want her to make the same decisions that I made. And like, yeah, God used it and brought me here. And I'm so thankful for that. Like it's a weird thing to say that you're thankful for your testimony, but like I'm here.
Yeah.
And it's pretty dope.
I'm thankful for your testimony.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? And so it's like, yeah, thank you, God. But like, if I can stop one girl or guy from the pain that I had to walk through to get here, like for sure, I'm going to do that. I'm going to bear my heart on stage. And so I think like, if that answers your question, like the love segment is I just don't want people to do the same thing I did because it's empty.
And I think one thing you do really well in that segment is not only tell people, hey man, what not to do, but I think you give a beautiful glimpse of like, not just what you're saved from, but what you're saved to where like, and in that segment, obviously love is such a robust I mean, just the word alone, not to mention the feeling or the experience or the action, like it's such a robust concept that no event's going to completely encapsulate it.
No.
And especially not a 20-minute segment.
No.
But in the love segment, you do focus on sexuality in that because in the modern culture, I think those are so synonymous, especially in young people, to where like love means this.
Yeah.
And it's like romantic relationships. And I think that's such a small sliver that then is distorted. And you do a beautiful job breaking it down. Again, man, I'm going to plug it just because I think you do a phenomenal job. I think there's so much biblical truth and provides so much clarity. I would love for anybody listening or watching this to go check it out, man. Seriously, like just go. I'm telling you, man, you will not be disappointed. And I think you do a beautiful job at saying like, yeah, man, I botched a lot of this stuff because I bought into the same thing that you're being told.
Yeah.
You're not choosing your own path. You're always picking something that someone's telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, don't play yourself. You know what I mean? Look at someone, just look at fashion. You didn't think, oh, I like that. No, you saw somebody that you admire wearing it and you're like, yo, I'm going to pull this joint off. Right? So, and that's the reality, man. We are human beings. We are not that independent, brother. You know, so I think you do a beautiful job at really bearing your soul out there, and sharing what you just said, but also saying like, yo, but there is a like this what you think is over here does exist. It's just not over there, and it's real, and I'm in it, and I'm walking in it now. And then you example that, and it's it's just such a beautiful example of that. And so, that does answer the question. But I just wanted to commend you and encourage you. Like you don't only what not to do, but I think what's even a more powerful thing is like not even what to do, but what this thing actually is. I mean, I know in my own story of coming to faith, it was me seeing somebody that looked like me.
Yeah.
That talk like me, live a way that I wasn't living, thinking like, how is? I thought the dude was. I thought I 100%. I thought he was a poser for the first like month I was around. I'm like, there's no way this guy is for real. There's no way he's really this whatever he was. This full of life. There's no way because I'd never seen it. I'm telling you to this day, man. That was 10 years ago. Still that way. You know, and
like it's crazy because like that's the whole biblical what Jesus tells us to do. Like they'll know you're my disciples. Like they'll know you love me by the way that you love each other and the way you walk. And so it's like, of course, it's all going to be like, oh, well, I see her doing that. How do I get there? You know what I mean? Or like, I see the world doing this. I kind of want to try that out. Like, because it can be used both for good or bad, but like, that's what Jesus is telling us to do.
Right.
Just love me and love people, and people will start to ask questions.
Yeah. So I think that's good. I know we're coming to an end here, but I think in the last segment of this, because you know me, I love throwing this stuff on the ground. I love like make it as applicable as possible.
Yeah.
And there's not a right answer. I want to know what you do. You know what I mean? I think it's important to know that. Like, how do you do this in your life?
Yeah.
Love God, love others, right? People will know your medicine. How do you do that?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially today when you just want to be selfish, you know? But I think it's going back to what I said at the beginning, like our time is not our own. And so we were in Florida painting a house, and some dude we asked him a piece of advice, and he was like, your time is not your own. Like it's God's. So stop wasting his time. And so I think like, I don't do it perfectly. Please know that. Like I do not love people perfectly.
What do you mean?
I think that's like my hardest thing is to love people, just because it's like, I don't want to do that. But I think it's just coming to that moment of like, one, the world is not about you. It does not revolve around you. So get over yourself. And that's like, that's a hard thing to say. And I literally think I have to tell myself.
You just made a whole bunch of people upset.
Sorry. I have to tell it to myself though. Like every morning it's like, well, what does AK want to do today? Well, it doesn't matter what AK wants to do. And so I think one, acknowledging it's hard. And I think it's a decision you have to make every day. And so it's really cool because my verse for the year of 2020 is Luke 9, 23 to like 27, where Jesus is basically saying, if you want to be my disciples, you have to pick up your cross. You have to follow me daily. And I think there's a reason he says daily, because it's not like follow me yearly and then the next year decide to follow him again. No, like every single day I have to wake up. I have to get over myself, acknowledge like it's just not about me.
Right.
And like my time is not my own. And so today, like, I'm just going to ask God what he wants me to do, like who he wants me to love. And I don't do it perfectly. I don't do it every day. Like I fail because I'm human. But I think that mindset of just like, it's not about me. I don't know if that helps it be applicable. Like, I don't know if that's answering the question, but I know for me, it's just a constant reminder of God, I'm sorry. Because it's about you. It's not me.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate this conversation. I expect to have many more like it. We've had many others before this, so
just didn't record them.
Yeah, I know. You are always a joy to talk to.
Oh, thank you.
I'd love to get a round table with a bunch of us because I know.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
People don't even know because we never record it. We only got 2 mics. That's why.
And it's always after the conversation.
Yeah, they were like we should have recorded.
Jay, Aj, and I were having a conversation once at dinner, and then we like left, and we're like, we should have freaking recorded that.
Yeah,
that was
amazing. Messed up, dog. Yeah.
Just always be recording every. A lot of the stuff we talk about is just weird and probably shouldn't be recorded.
Yeah.
But there's some gems in there.
Yeah, because I'll be talking about like foxes and stuff.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Just that's not like a inside joke. Just foxes.
Yeah.
The animal.
She'll just bring it up, and you're like, what are you talking about?
But that's Aj, man. That's Aj.
Yeah. If you've never met her, you should. She's amazing.
Oh no, she's on the podcast. They will know her. Yeah. So that's a fun episode. Go listen to that one next. Well. Again, thanks, AK. Love you. Proud of you. Keep crushing. If you guys have not heard me say it yet, if you're just tuning in, make sure you go see AK on the Unaltered Tour. You can get ticket information. You can buy tickets, details. You can see their tour schedule at unalteredtour.com. Man, do yourself a favor. Go check it out.
Yeah.
And
you won't regret it.
if it's not an area near you, hit that contact page. Bring it in, man. Like we go where we are sent. So I want to encourage you guys to do that. Also like, comment, subscribe, and share this. AK, thank you again.
Thank you, Spence. It was an honor.
It was an honor for me.
Oh, stop.
And we will catch you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Yeah.